What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. Today is a very exciting episode. We are getting some fancy goldfish for the new fancy goldfish aquarium. Let's head over to the aquarium and see how it's doing. Now, it's been a long time since we've had fancy goldfish on the channel, and for those long-term subscribers who have been here for 2-3 years, you would know I have a massive passion for fancy goldfish, and it was just a matter of time before we got some new ones in my home. Now, you may have seen the new fancy goldfish aquarium we set up probably about a week ago or so, and it is time to get some new fish to get this tank going and to bring it to life. Now, the full system is working. It is super silent. I'm going to be adding some pothos plant to the 2 baskets at the back to give it a little bit of foliage and greenery. Now, I may add some sort of decor, I'm not too sure on that yet. What we do need to add some established filter media from the Monster Fish Mega Tank. This tank is running around 22.5 to 23 degrees, so just a little bit lower than the Monster Fish Mega Tank. But the bacteria is going to help seed this tank and cycle it. Now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be going to my local aquatic shop and seeing what goldfish that they have in store. We might do a little store tour, a mini store tour, just to see what they've got, but we'll head to the shop and see what they have. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow and we can begin the new fancy goldfish aquarium. Now, before we get the fish, I just thought I would go over the sump. Now, I've made a few little modifications. First off, I've added some Jubilee clips and some cable ties onto the pipework for the UV, just to be extra safe. I've also ordered some filter cups that are going to sit in this chamber. They are similar to the Red Sea filter cups used on marine aquariums, and hopefully they're going to sit in there. I can put some filter fleece in, and that is going to be our mechanical filtration. And then the rest of the tank is going to be biomedia. We're going to put biomedia in here. We've already got the max spec bio blocks in there. I might add a couple of sheets of filter foam just to potentially capture any last bits of debris that misses the filter sock section or the filter cup section. But then the rest of this is all going to be biomedia. I think I can comfortably get about 5 or 6 kilos of media, so it's going to be plenty for the goldfish. We've also got our D&D temperature controller, which is currently showing the tank is sitting at 22.5 degrees. We've got our UV on, and the last thing I'm going to do before we head to the LFS is add some carbon. So I'm going to get a little bag of activated carbon, place it into the sump, just to eliminate any potential contamination that this tank may have had, or any kind of chemicals that could have got in. It's not only going to help remove those chemicals, but it's also going to give the water clarity, that extra sparkle before we add the fish. But enough on the filter, let's head to the shop and let's see what they've got. So coming into the store, we're going to head straight over to the fancy goldfish section, past all of the dry goods, and let's see if they got any in stock. Now, this Maidenhead usually has some pretty good fancy goldfish in, and I think they have had a new shipment in. Now, I'm not going to do a normal store tour of the shop. I'm literally just going to focus on the fancies, just to see if we can maybe get a few fish to get the tank started before we put some larger, more expensive fancies in. We've got some pretty nice little calico cow ranchu, and I'll try and include all the labels above the tank so you can see the pricing as well. These are quite nice, some little tricolours. And then we've just pretty much got most of the standard fish in at the moment. So nothing that's really jumping out to me. However, I have just spotted these tricolours in the sump down here. Now, I'm going to have a good look through these because there are a few that are standing out to me. Some more of the sort of short body, short tail Aranda, more of the new style of fish. Now, obviously, with tricolours, with panda fish, they are going to change, and these fish are all going to likely change to an orange, full orange or orange and white coloration. So if I do pick any, I'm really going to be picking them based on the wen shape on the head, the wen growth, the body shape, the split fins, double tails, double anal fins, I'm really looking for some quality fish. Now there are a few that jump out, this one especially down here in the corner with the really red wen. And this guy's pretty nice as well. All look like they've got pretty good split fins. And these are priced at 35 each, I think, or 2 for 65. So pretty good price, and they've got to be a good 3 inches or so, 2.5 inches. Now I'll get some close-up footage of these and we can see if there's any that really stand out. I think we're going to go with this one here. Got a really nice body shape to him, good wen. And then there was another one, see if I can spot him. Could be that one right at the back there, sorry about the reflection. I think those are the two I'm going to go with. Good body shapes, good wen growth, nice fins, and there'll be some good fish to get the tank started. So let's get them bagged up, let's get them home, and then we can start acclimating to the aquarium and see how they get on. I think it was this one here, maybe this one. I think it might have been this guy here. Yeah, I think it was this guy. And we are back from Maidenhead Aquatics. So I've got the new goldfish in the bag here, which I'm pretty excited to finally have some fancy goldfish again. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take them out of the bag and then we can get them acclimated to the aquarium. So I'm just gonna remove the lid off of the tank and then they can just sit in there. Probably acclimate them for around half an hour or so. I think they were in around 24 degrees of water. And this tank is sitting at around 23 degrees at the moment. So I'm gonna leave them in there for now, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the cupboard doors and I'm gonna get some cycled media from the Monsterfish Mega Tank into this aquarium. So we've got that bacterial cycle, and then we won't have to worry about cycling this tank. We won't get any ammonia or nitrite problems. So I'm gonna get on with that now, get a few bags of media in, and then I'm gonna slowly fill it up over the next few weeks, getting a nice amount of media in there for the next fish that we add to the tank. Now, whilst the fish are acclimating, I'm going to be adding the biomedia to the sump. So I've got a bucket, probably can't really see, with about, I don't know, 4 kilos of alpha grog in it maybe. And I've got some media bags which I ordered last week. So I'm going to be cleaning the alpha grog in some tank water, and then I'm just going to be sorting it out into these media bags and then placing it into the sump. Now, I did add the carbon into the tank last night, so that was going to help take out any potential impurities in the water, any chemicals, and we've got these media bags as well. I've also got the coarse, medium and fine filter sponges. So I'm going to add those to the front of the tank, put a new piece of filter fleece in just into this front section here, and then I'm going to add the biomedia, and then when the 2 filter cups turn up, I can add those into this section of the sump, fill those with the filter fleece, and then we'll have our fine mechanical filtration. We'll have our sponges, which will need cleaning out every, I don't know, 2 months, every 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll have the rest of the section filled with the biomedia. So I'm going to get sorting that biomedia into these filter bags now, and then we can release the fish into the aquarium. I've got all of the alpha grog in, so it's now time to cut these filter foams to size and put them into that first chamber. And then, as mentioned, when those filter cups arrive, I can put some fresh filter floss in there. Hopefully they'll be coming in the next day or 2, and then that will really help to polish the water. And there we have it, the sump is now complete, apart from obviously the filter cups that still haven't just arrived yet. So I've got those filter foams in the first section, and I've got the bag of carbon just holding them into position, but they're quite tightly packed in the sides. It's just they were falling over a little bit. So I put the carbon in there. Obviously, ideally, I would like the carbon at the end of the filtration cycle, as it's not going to get clogged by any dirt and debris. But once we got those filter cups in there with the filter fleece, they're going to take all of the fine particulate out of the water, and then anything that manages to get its way through to the filter sponges, they're going to really polish it off. Obviously, in an ideal world, you would have the sponges first, then you would have your filter fleece. However, I like to change the filter fleece every single week, which means that the sponges really don't get that dirty. Now, if you wanted to clean your filter, I don't know, once a month, then what you would do is you'd have your sponges, you'd have your coarse, medium, fine, then your filter fleece. However, I don't like to clean the filters every month. I like to make sure the water is as spotless as possible, and that is the reason why I run the sump in this way. So let's head up to the main display and let's add our fish to the new Fancy Goldfish aquarium. It's time to release the Fancy Goldfish into the new Fancy Goldfish aquarium. They've been acclimating for around half an hour now. Now all I'm gonna do is just literally use my hands to remove them from the bag. As they are such slow moving fish, I'm not going to bother with a net or anything. And we'll let them settle in for probably 24 hours or so, and then we can come and check up on them and see how they are doing. So here's the first one. And this is the second one. Now, it's definitely a great feeling to have Fancy Goldfish back on the channel, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys do in the aquarium, and then hopefully we can get some more in the near future. But I'll catch back up with you guys in 24 hours, see how they're doing, and then we can take a little bit of a closer look at them and maybe even give them some food. And we are back. It is actually the evening of the next day now, so our two new tricolour Aranda have settled nicely into the aquarium, and they're doing really, really well. Now, the tank is a tiny bit cloudy still, and I have adjusted the outflow from the filter just to give a little bit more aeration. Haven't quite decided if I should put any sort of air stones or an air bar in. Let me know down in the comment section what you think, and maybe if I should put one in or not. And we're going to be giving them a feed on camera. Now, I actually have this bag of Kenta Goldfish food, which I was given on my trip in Thailand about 1.5 years ago now, and I haven't opened it. So we're actually going to be giving the goldfish some Kenta food, and hopefully they're gonna eat it. But I'm really, really excited to be feeding some Fancy Goldfish for, well, in my home in the first time in about 2 years now, and I can't wait to see how this tank progresses. Now, these are the first fish to go in the aquarium. Now, they are definitely more towards the high grade fish, but I'm not sure if I plan to keep these long term. Obviously, we've added the mature filter media to the sump, and these are gonna help get the tank nice and cycled, build up the bacteria levels, get the tank nice and stable and get some equilibrium there before I start to add some slightly larger fish, some slightly more higher quality fish, and the fish I plan to build my collection with. But enough talking, let's give these guys some food and see if they take it. Now I'm going to open the bag of Kenta Goldfish food up, and hopefully they will swim over to the camera and take some. Now, I don't know if I mentioned slightly earlier in the video, but I did decide to opt for these goldfish because although they weren't super high quality, they were still quite nice fish. They've got double anal fins, they've got nice split caudal fins, they've got really good wen development for their size, they've got good body structures, good body shapes as well, and they are overall pretty nice quality fish. Now, I know I did mention earlier in the video that as they are a tricolour, they are going to change, and they're going to change from that black coloration and eventually turn into a orange and white fish. But I'm not too fussed about that. They're the first fish to go into the tank. They're an overall nice quality, and it'll be interesting to see how they develop. Now, I can see they haven't gone for the food, but I'm hoping that over the next few minutes, they'll sniff the food out, they'll come over and they'll start picking at it. But I will keep an eye on them, see how they get on, and hopefully they warm towards the Kenta food. I know they probably haven't been eating this kind of food so far, but we'll see if they get onto it, and hopefully they will start taking it. So I'm going to wrap up the video there, and I'm sure we'll do plenty more feeding videos in the future, and I'm sure we're going to get many more goldfish for this aquarium. And that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of the new Oranda. Did you like them? Do you think I should have gone with another style of goldfish? I know we had quite a lot of comments on which goldfish to add in the last video on this tank, so I really do appreciate every single comment, and I do reply to every single comment out there. But that is it for today's video. So thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.